A very warm welcome to She. It's always an amazing pleasure to talk about the issues that are affecting women. And of late, we've been looking at women in different careers, and what a great joy it is for me. Tonight, I'm talking about women in media. I resonate with the conversations we're going to be having tonight, and I'm sure you will too. A lot goes on behind the scenes, and that is what we'll be talking about from a woman's perspective. As we speak, remember to send your feedback to my WhatsApp line 0786316316. And if you're watching this on YouTube, remember to leave a comment down below. If you haven't already, subscribe, share, and like this video. On my left, I've got Muna Munanie. Karibu sana. Looking very pretty. She is a technical operator. She does studio and outdoor sound, camera, and lighting. And she's also the African director for African Girls Foundation. And so what African Girls Foundation does, they care for refugee girls and their families. Is that right?
Yes.
Amazing.
African Girls Hope Foundation.
African Girls Hope Foundation. Thank you for that. To my right, I've got Lily Aisha. You are a presenter and producer in a major media house that deals with digital content. The kind of content she does is mainly human interest and a little bit of entertainment on Fridays.
On a Friday.
I love that. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
All right. Joyce Guituro, thank you so much for making time. A very famous figure. Many of us have listened to your work and watched your work. You've been a blessing to so many people. So Joyce Guituro is a communication strategist. I mean, for a woman like you, it does take some muscle to condense everything that you are into one, one word. So anyway, we settled on communication strategist. She is the CEO of Miles Ahead Services, and she's been in media for 22 years. So all of us are looking forward to learn from her on this conversation. And, she also has her own YouTube channel. She's got 3 children and 1 grandchild. Yes. I'm so excited. Let me start with you. Why did you choose the media career?
It was a passion. You know, as a young girl, I don't think any of you here may know, but Esther Githui.
Yes.
I used to admire her Swahili. I used to watch her, and every time I would look at her and I would wish, oh God, how do I get to become the next Esther Githui? Yeah. And so I started practicing. You can't imagine, when I was young, way back in the village, I used to try read Swahili like her. My dad used to buy Taifa Leo a lot. I come from Rift Valley. So my first interaction was my mother tongue, yes, because we stayed in Central for some time, then we moved to Rift Valley. And that's when now we were forced to converse in Swahili because we had no option.
Yes.
So I developed some liking for Swahili. And then watching Esther Githui and her Swahili, was like, I have to become the next Esther Githui. So after school, the long and short of this story is that after school, my dad, I really wanted to join this university, and my dad was like, no. I'm taking you to do accounting because I want you to become my accountant. And he took me, and I did up to CPA 2. Then I cleared, and I told him, here is your certificate. I'm off. So I tell people, I traveled to Nairobi, met the producer, Kibwana Onguso, gave me a role the same day.
Wow.
And day 3, I was acting as Maya.
Wow.
And that's how I got my footing in the media.
Wow.
So after that, of course, I went to school, did my diploma, did my degree, almost finishing my master's, and I've done other professional courses.
Wow.
So, So I forgot about accounting completely, and I followed my passion. Mine is just a job of passion.
Passion.
Yes.
And determination.
Exactly.
All right, let me go to Lily. You are a presenter and producer. Is that how you started, or you started as something else and branched out?
I started as a writer, actually. I'd say I'm a blogger, because I started interning as a blogger. Then I was then accepted. Then I started doing the videos of producing and hosting videos. Then I did a bit of radio. Then after that is when I moved completely to where I am right now, and I'm fully doing videos and being a presenter and a producer. So I didn't start. I started as a small girl writing.
Okay.
Because that was the only way I could get myself into media. I didn't want to do so much of mainstream. I'm not such a fan of mainstream.
Okay.
I'm a very bubbly person.
Yeah.
So me sitting down and being very serious, I'm like, no, I
That's
think
not you.
that's not me. I'm not comfortable. I'll be, within 10 minutes, I'm like, okay, I need to move. I
Okay.
need to do something else.
Okay.
So that's why I didn't really want to do mainstream much. That's why I didn't even want to intern in any of the mainstream companies.
Okay. But you did end up working in mainstream media.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eventually, I had to because there's no other way.
Yeah.
With that day, the days I was interning, there was not much of digital. It was just the point where it's starting to come up. So, yeah.
Okay. When I come back to you, I will ask you about the different myths that you found being demystified in the digital side that have held women back in the mainstream media. But let me go to Muna. Muna, I don't even know where to start. I have to say that for a long time, the technical side has been thought of as a guy thing. Have you faced that stereotype? How does that stereotype show up in your work, in your day-to-day work?
It started from right in college.
Okay.
No, let's just start from home. When you're a pastor's child, and you come from a lineage that has very many pastors and bishops, everybody has a certain expectation of what you will become and what you will do. So what happens is, when you finish high school, like Joyce, they have something for you to do. And for me, that's something for me to do that would resonate very well with my dad. My mom had no issues. It was low.
Oh.
So, our parents tend to leave their dreams in us. Those things they did not. Okay, he did law, but he never went to Kenya School of Law and practiced because he felt the calling of God, his own story.
Okay.
So, yeah, you're going to law school. We have our tussle, and Muna ends up not doing law and ends up enrolling at Kenya Institute of Mass Communication. And for 3 years, they don't know where I am. And
So who's paying school?
Yeah.
I was selling flowers. I was going to Naivasha, getting flowers, hooking them in city market, making a lot of money.
Wow.
Yes. And in my 3rd year, I do a makeup session. I tell my grandma, now I think we can tell them where I am. So
they didn't know where you were?
No, it's only my grandma who knew where I was.
And she kept it a secret?
Yeah.
Wow.
Between the two of you,
Yes.
I guess.
They didn't get cops to look for you?
The reason why I showed up is because I was advertised.
What do you mean advertised?
The way they put that missing child.
Oh, so the day you showed up is the day they advertised you?
Yes.
But you had already enrolled, sold flowers, you made your tumanis, you paid your school fees?
Yes.
Wow.
So it's a part of my story that many people don't know.
Yeah.
So I told my grandma, tell them I'm in Nairobi and I'm in school, I am fine. So she told my dad. Of course, Dad was grandma's apple. So Dad was, okay, we need to meet. We met, we made up, said it's okay, you can do what you want. It actually also opened a door for my siblings to start doing what they want. So by the time he met me, I got a couple of guys assisted me to pay school fees. One day, I'm sorry to say this, it's a politician. Gilu just found me selling flowers up on Mombasa Road, and she asked me, "What are you doing here?" She knows me like from home.
Okay.
What are you doing? I'm selling flowers. Okay, give me the flowers, and tomorrow in the morning at 8, let me meet you in my office. She was the minister for water. So I went, why are you hawking flowers and I know your family? Like, I'm hawking flowers because I can't pay my fees. What's the balance? I told her 28,000. She drew a school fees check for 28K for me to go to KMC to complete my project. So, yes. So somehow I finished. In college, I was the only girl in the camera class, and they would call me boys.
We are coming to that just now.
For them to feel like I'm part of their class, they would call me boys.
Boys, okay.
Yes. So we finished KMC, and when we finished KMC, I got a couple of gigs outside there. Yes.
Awesome. That's a very rich history.
Yeah.
Let me go to Lily. What are some of the differences you found as a woman in mainstream media and digital media?
The first thing definitely has to be money. Because where I was before, the men would be paid more than I'm being paid, yet we're doing the same job. In fact, sometimes I'd do more. Because I'd come very early. I'm usually that person for coming early. And I'd also find myself leaving late. So I'm doing more, so that one thing is money. Two is, if you're doing TV, especially because I also did TV, and they're saying, you're a big girl, I don't think you are suitable for this.
For the screen.
Yeah. But eventually things evolved. I don't know how, but they did. So
In mainstream?
Yeah, in mainstream.
Okay.
So but I did it for like 3 months before I just quit. Other things were a lot of makeup. Like you see, yes, I've done makeup, but it's not something that would be like,
Who's that?
Who's that? Like you can see my hands and my face, they're looking together.
Yeah.
But at that time, your face is so light. I'm like, that's not my color. So there's that point.
Okay.
They want to put you as someone that you're not. They want to paint a picture of what they think is what people want to see. I don't feel like if I'm watching news, I'd be like, unim light, unim no. That's not what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I just want to hear what you're saying.
Yes, the personality.
I just want the news and we move. So those are things I found there. But where I am now, nobody cares.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just before I ask you the question I want to ask you, in mainstream media, I've had some media houses having that thing for professional hair is considered to be this silky type of hair.
I don't know what's happening now, but I know you get a person who takes care of your grooming. So from your hair to your dressing, to everything, makeup. Yeah, it's done by someone who is employed to do that.
Yes.
So if they tell you look nice in this wig, you have no option because this is biashara. You have to look the beat.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that thing of the hair, and by the way, even if we try to look at even the current newscasters, most of them, they either have long natural hair or they're in wigs or weaves.
Yeah.
You rarely find someone with my kind of hair.
Yeah, kinky African
exactly.
hair.
Yeah, natural, just your hair.
Okay.
Rarely.
Yeah, maybe that's something we need to demystify.
Actually, I think African hair and our African bodies are not embraced. We are here, we are different.
Media.
Yes, we are here. I happen to work in the studio for the last 1 year. The expectations they have suit a white person, they don't suit
It's like they're trying to make you as white as close
but
to
the
white
irony
as possible.
is, if you watch the BBC, CNN, Al Jazeera, you find very natural women. No makeup, nothing.
They are driven by Kardashians and all those other things. They have an image to paint.
Yeah, here in Kenya and in Africa.
Right.
But what is Al Jazeera doing? What is CNN doing? What is BBC doing? They have their women, their ladies, present news in their element.
That's true.
You don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to wear those funny weaves, if I may call them. Yeah.
Okay, we'll continue the debate when we come back from the break. Don't go away.
Tomorrow on This Is My Story. It takes a village to raise a child.
I realized the little girls, the boys, they were engaging themselves in early prostitution.
There is a lot of morality in the area.
Money has taken precedence over the innocence and safety of our children in the community.
I decided to follow up and actually taking them to school.
It is a story about poverty, desperation, and loss of innocence on This Is My Story, tomorrow at 8:30 p.m.
Welcome back to She. Tonight we are talking about women in media, and it's a very interesting conversation. The experience of women in media is not the same as the experience of men in media, but maybe very soon we're going to close that gap. Remember to leave your comments down below if you're watching this on YouTube, and also if you're watching this on TV, send your comments to 0786 316 316. I wanted to ask you about leadership. As a female leader, what are some of the, maybe you can give us 2 challenges you faced and 2 perks you've faced as a female leader in your journey?
The highest I got, as other than being the MD of my own PR company, the highest I got in the corporate world, especially in media, was becoming an executive member. An executive committee member, you know, the highest decision-making body in a company.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, it wasn't easy. We were 3 ladies, 3 ladies in a group of 9. And it wasn't easy, I'll tell you for sure. Even when you're presenting your views, they had to be scrutinized. You sit in a board meeting and everyone is giving their plans and their strategic plans. Once you present yours, it's discussed by everyone. But when it's the men presenting theirs, just listen, and maybe you okay what you need to okay, what you don't need to okay. You say maybe this one, you come to the office, we discuss. But when you do your presentation, it has to be discussed by everyone in that room. And I used to find it quite odd. Yes, it used to really bother me. One time I picked it up with the HR person, and I asked her, because she was part of the board of the group of the team. I asked her, why does this happen when the rest are presenting their plans?
Yeah.
I mean, we just listen and maybe add a word or 2.
Yeah.
But when it's me presenting my radio plan, it
It's
has to be
discussed,
scrutinized. Yes,
scrutinized.
you have to be put on the spot. You have to explain. You have
Speak.
exactly. So I used to. That was one of the challenges I faced, and also being a bold woman and speaking my mind. I've always done that. Sometimes it doesn't go well with my bosses because I exactly
All the time.
all the time. Because me, I'm this person who will speak my mind, and I'll tell you, I've left 2 well-paying jobs. Yeah, because of that. Because I'm a person who will say no to this and yes to what I believe in. But I also listen, not that I don't listen.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to being, to gender, I don't take it in. I simply say no. I've seen ladies giving in to some demands. I've tried to mentor some, talk to them, tell them you don't have to do this. And when they do it, it really, really frustrates you. But what I can comfortably say on this platform is that I've never in my life, in my 22 years in media, I've never given in to some of those demands. I've always stood my ground.
Wow.
Yeah, and it has worked for me because I am the person I am, and I feel so proud that nobody can point a finger on me and say, you know,
I helped you.
Yes, you rose through the ranks because of me. You know, that one I can tell you, it's God and hard work.
Wow, yeah.
The next thing about being a leader and especially in media houses, is that people tend to doubt your decision-making skills. They don't believe that you can make decisions that will impact on the company positively. So even if sometimes you come up with a proposal, wonderful, nice, take it to your boss, they water it down, then 2-3 days later, the same proposal is being implemented by your boss. A man.
And he's taking the credit for it.
Exactly. But you know, you're just like, oh God.
Is that though, do you think that he would do the same if it was a guy, just because it's corporate?
No. No, when it's a guy, it's different.
Okay.
Yeah.
So men have a respect for other men that they don't have for women.
For them, they're buddies. You know, ni boys.
Ni boys.
Ni watu wangu.
Okay.
And then there's also the issue of age. I remember severally being asked, how old are you? And I'm just thinking, in fact, one time I asked, what does my age got to do with what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I wanted to understand, is it my age or is it my performance?
Yeah.
What is it? And with time I realized, you know, media is about age. And when you're a woman and you are in your 50s, in media, you are a used force. But when it's a man in his 50s, he's a very experienced leader.
Seasoned.
Wise man.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it really used to bother me, and I got to a point I said, you know what,
Yeah.
I'll be myself.
I'll be myself.
I'll be myself because I believe the industry we are in is about the skills you have. And the older you are in this profession, the more experienced you are.
That's true. Let me go to Muna. You had mentioned something about sexual harassment, and I wanted you to talk about it. You're a pretty lady in the midst of many men, and maybe they're not seeing just a worker. They're not just seeing a colleague. They're seeing more opportunities.
Let me tell you, the first time I walked into internship in the technical field, because now that is what I had studied at KMC. Radio is just one of those things you study when you're studying film.
Yes.
And the first day, someone just looks at me and is like, oh, we have a 1 GB here. And then they just lifted me.
They lifted you.
Like, nika 1
No.
GB.
Yeah.
And there was no other lady in that office.
Nani Dame, they wouldn't do that for a guy.
Of course, I'm
Oh, how?
Never.
It was all male. You've walked into the camera office for your internship, and these guys just they've carried you. Then he puts you down. Another person comes. You don't know these people. You don't know their names. You don't know nothing.
That is
Another
bad.
second person comes and lifts you up, and they're so happy they're lifting you up, and you're, excuse me?
For them, it's
Traumatized.
normal.
Yeah.
For them,
It's
it's
offensive.
It's okay. They
It's
don't think
okay,
it's a
but
big
it's not
deal.
okay with me.
Yeah.
And every day, even if I wear jeans, even if I wear dangare, sweatpants, someone will just make a comment in the office. There are people who will make it in a nice way and tell you, my daughter, you're looking good today. But there are those who will tell you, you look.
They'll make sexually oriented
Yes,
comments.
a lot of them.
How do you
and,
deal-
And
how do
not
you-
even there, or they're like, it's a girl doing it. Are you sure the video quality is okay?
It's
And then-
offensive. It's
And then
so
even when you
offensive.
go to do interviews for work, you finish the interview, the men have interviewed you, then someone will follow you behind and ask you, can I take you out?
Okay.
It's interesting she's
And,
saying
and,
that.
and let me clarify something small. It doesn't happen to the small girls only.
Yeah.
When you're a lady and you're a leader, you'll see your juniors, some men, very junior to you, they walk up to your office and they do the same thing.
They want to
They
climb
tell
up
you,
the ladder.
I want to take you out for lunch. And you're looking at them and you're thinking, you are very,
I signed for you.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I keep asking myself, if this was a man in this position, the young ladies may not be bold enough to come in, but because you're a woman, a guy will come and sit there,
They'll be bold.
you're junior, and come and tell you, you know what, madam?
I hear you.
I want to take you out for coffee.
I hear you. So our time is closing in on us, and I want us now to go into how do you cope with those things. So Lily, what are some of the things you've had to push through, and how have you pushed through them?
I think one is like what she talked about, sexual harassment. For me to move to where I am now, I quit, I resigned, and I don't know, the power of God is amazing, because I resigned today and the next day I was called in for a new job. And I resigned only because the boss told me, if you do not do this with me, then I will not sign your contract, I will not renew your contract. And I'm thinking, excuse me, why? There's... I
I'm
don't
performing.
have to. Yeah, like I'm doing a good job. But I asked him, if I'm not doing a good job, by all means, let me go.
Yeah.
But if you think I'm doing good and you feel like this is what you need to do, or rather I need to do for me to move to the next step, in terms even you, because if your contract is renewed, then your salary is increased. So I was being, it was a lot, so I just said no. So one thing for me is, I'm like what you said, I'm a very strong-willed person. You can't tell me to do something that I don't want to do. If I don't want, trust me, I will not. So for me, people say, oh, Kona Maringo, she's rude. It's okay. let me be rude, let me be that. At the end of the day, I stand my ground and I know myself. So that, no, I'm always that chick for saying no, and I will call you out in front of people and I will embarrass you. So that's what I will embarrass you in front of people and you'll hate me for that.
Okay.
So that's I think that has won for me throughout everything that I've been able to push through. So
have you ever been discriminated because of your size?
definitely.
How
yes.
did you cope with that?
I mean, even when I joined where I am right now, the first time people looked at me, even on YouTube, they were like, hey, there was a time I remember someone telling me I need to get a better bra size. I was like, wow, how can you be able to tell that? You know? So I think for me, I try as much as possible not to read comments because in as much as they don't really get to me, but sometimes the one or two could really get to you. So my boss or rather the editor would read, and if they see something is bad, they would remove it before I get to it. But how I deal with it, I think, is just, I really don't care. Because at the end of the day, I'm happy with what I'm doing as my job.
Right.
I'm happy with my pay. I'm happy with the people I work with. So you who's there, you have your problems.
Yeah.
You sit with your problems.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I think
Okay.
basically.
Joyce, I know you have one last thing you can say to us before we close.
Number one, you guys, the young people are lucky right now because you have mentors, as we just found our way. So kindly, if you're in media, have a mentor. Just know yourself, self-identity, how you react to situations. Just understand yourself, know who you are. It is the only thing that is going to guide you in saying no and yes to some situations. And you will also understand how you react to situations. So if you know, if Muna pushes me to react, to be mad, and I know I'm going to react may cost me my job, just avoid that, stay away from it. Know who you are, learn to be calm, even in situations where you're not supposed to be calm, but also speak out. Because the biggest mistake I see right now, and even it has been like a trend and a culture that has been normalized, is the sexual harassment in media houses. And the girls are quiet about it. So I'm not going to fight for you if you're not talking about it. But if you come to me as your boss and tell me I'm being sexually harassed by so and so, I'll take it up. Even if it's my boss, I can use the right channels to just try and help the girls in the newsroom. Because I'll tell you for sure, there's nothing as rampant and as bad as sexual harassment in media houses. That is the number one challenge that media, ladies in media are facing, sexual harassment. Number two, I would love and I would like to see the day where we'll have a clear policy on maternity leave. And yeah, because it's not there. No, you get worried. No, I'm married and I need to get a baby. But now the period I'll be away, my job will be gone.
That's true.
Number two, and another thing, my bosses will start looking at me like, I can't promote this one. She got married the other day.
Yeah,
she will go for
might
maternity
get pregnant.
leave.
Yeah.
So if we have a policy by the government, I don't know how we are going, that will be done. But we need it.
But it's something
so that we
will
stop
push.
the fear.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we stop our lives because you're worried, I don't want to get pregnant, I don't want to give birth.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to lose
my
some
job.
media houses, they will actually fire you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so those are the two major things that I want to see worked on. Girls and ladies speaking out about sexual harassment in media houses, and also a clear policy
on maternity.
on maternity leave.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ladies. That's all the time we had tonight.
Really?
I know it wasn't enough. That's all the time we had, and thank you so much, everybody, for your company. It's been amazing. If you're watching this on TV, remember to leave your comments on my WhatsApp line, 0786316316. And if you're watching it on YouTube, remember to leave your comments down below. Good night.
Fresh, insightful, and in-depth stories from current affairs, opinion, inspiration, lifestyle, church-related articles, and so much more on www.familynews.today. Insights at your fingertips.